Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Becca Dudley and I've been invited by the Royal Navy to host. So today we're going to be shining a light on two Royal Naval Reserve bases, HMS King Alfred in Portsmouth and HMS Vivid in Plymouth. Now, due to the lockdown situation, we are going to be joined by our guests through the powers of the internet. And just so you're aware, we are recording this in a socially distanced, COVID-safe way. And because we are in lockdown as well, we're pre-recording this episode, so we won't necessarily be having a live Q&A, but I will make sure I ask our guests tons of questions that I know you'll want to know the answers to. And if there's anything specific that you would like to ask, we have teams from both units online throughout the show and afterwards as well, ready to answer any questions that you may have. So get involved by clicking the button below to chat to them. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Royal Naval Reserve, the R&R, and what you can do if you want to step away from doing the everyday. So maybe you're somebody who likes to always beat your personal best or challenge yourself mentally and physically, or just step away from the mundane, then the R&R may just be for you. Maybe you're somebody who wants to try something adventurous, learn a new skill or travel the world, but also fit that into your everyday life, then you have come to the right place. And the good news is you can actually earn whilst you learn, and there are so many different roles within the R&R, from engineering to logistics to warfare specialists and loads more in between. So today we are going to be chatting to Jasmine, Matt, Amy and Harnish, who are all reserves at HMS King Alfred and HMS Vivid, and they all have amazing stories to share with us. So if you like what you see today, you can express your interest on the RN website. Now don't worry, this doesn't commit you in any way to joining. It literally just means you can organise a chat with an RN careers officer, so don't be shy. So first up, let's hear from Shivali, who by day is an investment banker, but let's see what she gets up to when she goes beyond the everyday in her reserve role.
The everyday only takes you so far, but not Wednesday. Wednesday takes you somewhere else, somewhere most days can't. On Wednesday, we see things the everyday doesn't, and experience things the everyday hasn't. Wednesdays for stepping into the unknown, never wasting a single minute. Our only fear, the mundane. And when Wednesday finally finishes, where do we go? Back to the everyday, but only for a moment.
So cool. I mean, there's so many opportunities to do something that guaranteed none of your mates will have tried. And yeah, they definitely do not do the everyday. So now we have Jasmine on video call, who works in the police service in training and mentoring. Hi, Jasmine.
Hello.
Hi. So talk to us. You are a sub-lieutenant, right? So can you explain the process of how you got to where you are now?
Yeah, sure. So I joined the R&R in 2015. I was fresh out of university and I didn't really know what I wanted to do in a career. I was working at the time, but I worked in a college, so I only worked in term time. And when I went to my Armed Forces Careers Office, they let me know there was an accelerated program over 8 weeks where I could go from absolutely no military experience and pass out hopefully as a midshipman. So I jumped at the chance to do that. I thought that was a fantastic opportunity where I would just get so much training and experience, and all the time I was getting paid for it as well. So I stayed at BRNC, which is Britannia Royal Naval College, for 4 weeks, and we just got taught absolutely everything from marching and drill to source drill, through officer training, how to iron, how to polish your shoes, absolutely everything, even the history of the Navy. and we got to have these lessons in the main college itself, which I thought was an absolutely beautiful building. It's really old, and it's just got all the history in there as well. And you think about how many people have been to that college before you. So it was a really great environment, great atmosphere. There were times I felt a little bit overwhelmed as well, thinking about all of that. I then passed out as a midshipman, and I spent 2 weeks on RFA Argus, and I did my sea time, so that was all about getting experience after I passed out of Dartmouth. And then we did a further 2 weeks in Portsmouth, so that was my 8 weeks sort of consolidated. From then, I sort of went back to my civilian career for a while with the plan to undertake a final leadership exercise and also my fleet board. On completion of those, I passed. You have to pass both of those to be a sub-lieutenant. And I wouldn't say that they're easy, but Dartmouth does prepare you for what to expect. One of the jokes about flex that we say is the first rule about flex is you don't talk about flex. So it's about not really talking, not letting people know in advance what it's about. So it is a proper sort of test of your ability, and they'll see what they can throw at you. So it's really good fun at the same time. It's also completely unexpected at times, and you can go from one scenario to another, and it's just completely designed to push you out of your comfort zone. It's incredible the amount of training in leadership management that you get with the Royal Naval Reserve, more so than any other organisation that I'm aware of. They literally just throw training at you. The minute I finish something else, they congratulate you, but they're also thinking, okay, what do you want to do next? Where do you want to go next? So then when I passed my fleet board in January 2018, I've now been a sub-lieutenant for almost 3 years, and I'm counting down now to January when I'm going to promote as a lieutenant. So I'm really excited about that as well.
That's so exciting. What a journey. And then in civvy life, in your civilian career, you work in the police force. So do you find that your career in the R&R sort of helps you with your job in the police?
Definitely. When I first started in the R&R, it does start, but mostly it sort of prepares you for military life. But then there is a lot of crossover as well in the leadership management training you get, team working skills, confidence building skills, all of those transferable skills that you need really depend, like no matter what organisation you go to. And I started putting myself out there in my civilian career with the police. I was pushing myself to do as much as possible. I was always volunteering to help with projects, and I think I did sort of get noticed as someone who was really keen, really enthusiastic to help out and do lots of things and develop myself, especially as a young person where you're not always sure what you want to do as a career. You just do as much as possible. You learn what you're good at. You learn things that you like by just trying new things. So that was an opportunity in the police that I had to do as much as I wanted to. And I got that confidence and that drive, I suppose, because of my experience in the Navy. I'd worked there for a couple of years when in 2019 a role came up for a leadership trainer, and I immediately was really interested. I wanted to have a look at it, and through looking at the job role profile, I saw that it really matched up to everything that I just had to learn to pass my fleet board. So the College of Policing syllabus was really, really similar to the Navy's leadership syllabus, and I suppose it makes sense because it's all good leadership training, so it makes sense. It's going to be similar. And I just thought, I can do this. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to have a go. I was the youngest candidate, and I was up against both internal and external candidates, people who had been in roles much longer than I had. And I've got a lot to thank because I put it down to my experience in the R&R that I was able to evidence experiences where I could demonstrate my capability at a maybe a younger age, because I am running sort of 2 careers at the same time.
Amazing. So they really go hand in hand. That's good to hear. And I know that you've also had some very cool experiences in the R&R, like meeting the first Sea Lord.
Yeah, so that was really unexpected actually. I got an email from my unit HMS Vivid probably about a week before, because when it's someone quite important, very important, we often, for security, we don't get told too far in advance. And I got this email asking me if I was available, and it didn't really mention who it was. And it was only a few days before that I found out I was chosen as one of 6 people in the entire unit to meet the first Sea Lord. And we were the first unit he visited as well. So I was really overwhelmed. I was quite shocked that I was chosen as well, but also really happy. And yeah, we went down to the unit. We all had to be socially distanced, so I suppose that's why there was only 6 people chosen, to make sure we all fit in the room as well. And we got the opportunity to listen to his vision, his direction, where he wants things to go, but also to ask questions. So we all had a great opportunity there to ask questions, to find out firsthand from the person, the highest person in charge of our direction, where the Navy was going and where the reserve were going. And I was told beforehand that most people go through their entire regular without ever meeting the first Sea Lord. So I was really honoured, really privileged that I would get this opportunity, and so early on.
Amazing. Well, listen, thank you so much, Jasmine, for sharing your story with us. It's so interesting to hear, and best of luck with everything moving forward.
Thank you so much.
Now let's hear from Reserve D about her experience of fitness training and how she got ready for her INT, her initial naval training.
When I was looking at the criteria for joining, I realised there was a massive element to do with fitness and fitness levels. But what they do is they provide clear training plans for me to follow, which I did, which then helped me when I applied. I started experiencing things like circuits and rowing, boat work, mountain climbing, things I'd never done before. And what I found is I really, really enjoyed it, and that helps me maintain my levels of fitness.
Okay, we've got Amy up next. So she's going to talk about her role as a reserve whilst working as a solicitor. So hello, Amy. How you doing?
Hi, Becca. I'm really great, thank you. How are you?
I am fabulous, thanks. I'm really excited to hear about your story. So first of all, you come from quite a naval background, am I right?
I do. I'm Portsmouth born and bred. So my dad was in the Navy, and I come from quite a strong armed forces family. So I've always had an interest in the Navy, and the R&R recently has just been able to bring the two worlds together, which is brilliant, and allow me to have a full-time civilian career too.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to ask you. How easy has it been to sort of balance your work life with your R&R career? And also, was it easy to get your employer on board with that?
Sure. I always say to people that if I can do it, anyone can do it, because I'm a solicitor in my civilian career, and it can be really demanding. But do you know what? The two worlds fit together really succinctly, and also importantly, the R&R know that you do have a full-time civilian career. They respect that, and it doesn't often get in the way, if at all. I'm in the start of my career. My employer, they are so supportive. They are actually gold level Armed Forces Covenant, and it's actually them that put me onto the R&R in the first place. They told me about it coming up, which I attended in September 2018, and just haven't looked back since.
Amazing. So what, since you joined, has been sort of the highlight for you? What's been your favourite part so far?
So in November last year, I went on a battlefield tour with a real mix of people from my unit, ratings, officers, and we attended various battlefield sites around Belgium. We went to graves, and it was lovely because it was such a learning experience too, because at every single cemetery we each had a presentation to give and a story to tell, and we would be standing at the grave of the person that we were talking about, and we'd be honouring everything that they'd done. So that was a really touching moment and a real weekend to look back on.
Wow, yeah, that sounds so powerful. And so I know that you're super excited about trying some adventurous training.
I am. That's one of my tops that I can't wait to look forward to. It's, there are so many opportunities available. So as soon as we come out the other side of this pandemic, I'm first on the list. And
what are
it
you
really
going to go for?
I think possibly skiing. I very narrowly missed out on some winter mountaineering training too, and the people that went on it said it was absolutely amazing. And the life skills that they learn and the views that from the top of the mountains that they showed me, just amazing. I can't wait.
So exciting, man. So listen, before we wrap this up, can you give us maybe 3 things that you would say to someone who's thinking about joining but they're not quite sure? What 3 pieces of advice would you give to them?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, I'd say be a yes person. Throw yourself at every situation, every opportunity that comes your way, and you really will reap the benefits. Secondly, I think you have to be open-minded, and you're going to cross paths with people of all different ages, from all sorts of backgrounds. Everyone's got a story to tell, and you've got something to learn from everyone. And it's such a great opportunity from that side of things. And lastly, I think it's really important to know when to take your civilian hat off and put your military hat on. You're going to be living in these 2 worlds, and they can sit tightly together, but you are going to have the different hats to wear. And then lastly, have fun.
Love that. Amazing advice. Amy, thank you so much. You've been a star.
Thanks, Becca.
So great to hear from Amy. Remember, if you have any questions at all, maybe you want to find out how to fit your R&R career around your job, or how to approach your employer, anything you like, you can ask our team right now. They are ready and waiting for you. You just got to click the button below to get involved. And since everyone who joins seems to be drawn to the sea, why don't we take a look at some of the things you get up to on the water as a reserve.
Closed up, cleared away, balls clear, ammunition provided.
Range at 20,000 yards.
Clear the takeoff, service wind 1006.
I mean, it looks like something out of a movie. I think you'll agree, it all looks pretty exciting. So that brings us on to hearing from Harnish. Now, he is at HMS King Alfred. He's a chartered surveyor, but he's also been involved in loads of cool ceremonies as a reserve. So let's say hi. Hello, Harnish.
Hi there, how are you doing?
I'm very good, thanks. How are you?
Good, very well.
Good. So listen, I hear you've been involved in some really amazing ceremonial duties, such as the Paralympics. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I was mobilised on Olympics in 2012. The Royal Navy flag bearer for the opening of the Paralympics, in front of a global audience, 100,000 people in the Olympic Stadium, and in front of Her Royal Majesty Queen Elizabeth. And also I've had the opportunity to be involved with a number of other ceremonial duties. An NFL game at Wembley, and that was joint with the United States Navy, and also the Rugby World Cup in 2015.
Nice, so you've been busy then. And I'd love to hear about your experience when you were sea training on HMS Grimsby. What was that whole experience like, and what did you really take away from that?
Yeah, so HMS Grimsby was a fantastic experience. Sandown mine hunter, crew of 50, first time at sea, 2 weeks away. Yeah, real eye opener. It's fantastic, fantastic crew. Real experience running through drills at sea, and just seeing the dynamics and professionalism of the crew is incredible. Made some really good friends. It's a great journey.
Nice. So can you tell us a little bit about your role in information operations?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've all seen the memes in social media and often asked, why those things are and why people do them, for a quick laugh, start promotions. It's basically changing people's behaviours and realigning those in a positive way. So, it could be as simple in history, there have been plenty of examples. So D-Day landings, reception programs which were set up, strategies to make the Nazis think you were landing on the beaches, somewhere else completely, opening up channels, communication. A lot of the aspects of information operations, understanding culture and why people do things and their various viewpoints, and taking that into account in terms of how we use that in operations. What I enjoy most within info operations is continuously learning about real world situations and how that affect tomorrow. In information operations, there are also great opportunities to mobilise for short periods, as short as 2 weeks, up to 6 months and possibly more, and also overseas.
Okay, and so have you found your employer to be supportive of your R&R career?
So my employer really respects what the Royal Navy training brings to the table. They've signed up to our covenant and really understand and embrace the leadership training and all the other skills that I learned during the course of all courses and operational experience, and bring those to the table in a positive way, and it's viewed tremendously within the company.
Wicked. And I understand that you're super into your athletics. Am I right?
Yeah, I do run occasionally. I've done half marathons, and other long distance events. I run for Royal Naval Athletics and take part in competitions, various long distance races, road races, and in the inter-services championships.
Nice. So you're making the most of your time for sure. And finally, can you give any advice to someone who's thinking about joining? What would you say to the early you before you started?
Absolutely, jump at it. Grab it with both hands. You'll get so much from it. Career-wise, you learn a lot about yourself, how to embrace and work with others. Camaraderie, everything it brings to the table is a real fantastic experience. I'd say try it. If you don't do it now, you never will. You never know.
Love that. Thank you so much, Harnish.
Thank you.
Now, if anybody's story has made you think, that looks like the place for me, then now you have the opportunity to vote for what you want to see next. So there should be a poll coming up on your screen right now. And so just choose which one you want to see. Is it travel and adventures training or sporting opportunities? All right, well, thank you for voting. We're now going to hand over to the people backstage who are handling this show live, and let's see what you've come up with.
I've been to over 50 different countries with the Navy. So I've been to Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, Cyprus. I was in Japan in 2018, which was a real highlight.
There's a huge amount of opportunity of travel really. You can sign up for sports and adventure training as well. Skiing, mountain climbing, anything mountainy, all of it.
I've had opportunities to ski in some wonderful resorts around the world. In January of 2019, I was able to partake in the Royal Navy Ski Champs in Tignes in France. It's one of those things that still blows my mind every day, that I'm in a job that allows me to get paid to do a passion I love.
next up, we have Matt, who is at HMS Vivid. Now, he's a senior technical engineer at Devonport Dockyard, and he's going to be talking about his specialist role in the R&R. So, hello, Matt. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm great, thanks. I'd love you to tell us a little bit about what your role is currently and how you got there, and also where you want to go next with it all.
Okay, I joined the R&R back in August 2016 as an officer cadet. It took me a few years to get where I am now, but I'm now a sub-lieutenant in the R&R. I'm joining phase B of my training, and I'm looking at joining the information warfare branch with a view to join the media operations specialisation, which is a reservist role within the RN.
Nice. And I think something that a lot of people are quite interested to know about is what the pay situation is like. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. I mean, not all reservists do it for the pay, but it's definitely a bonus getting paid to do something that you love doing. An officer cadet can start on around £60 a day. A midshipman is about £75 a day, and my daily rate is about £80 a day. But there is also a tax-free bounty which you can qualify for if you complete your 24 days training a year. So you have 12 days operational training and 12 days supporting activities, and if you succeed in completing that commitment, then you'll get a tax-free bounty. On year one is about £400, and by the end of the fourth year, I think you're looking at around £1,800, and that's a tax-free bonus at the end of the financial year.
Bit of free money, you can't complain about that, can you?
No, you can't.
Okay, so can you talk to us a little bit about how you managed to balance your civvy career with what you do in the R&R? Has it been easy to sort of get both things working around each other, or has it been more of a challenge?
To be fair, I work on ships and submarines for my day job as well. So I work for Babcock International at Devonport Royal Dockyard. They're a gold company for the Armed Forces Covenant, so they support me with providing me a 15-day special paid leave a year. So my civilian role and my reservist role go very much hand in hand. So where the Navy helped my civilian role and the civilian role helps my RN understanding, it's a win-win situation for me at the moment, and they're very supportive.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And I know that you're super into your adventurous sports as well, and you've had a couple of opportunities with the R&R.
Yeah, that's correct. So I've done in total 3 weeks worth of adventurous training. I've spent 2 weeks in Bavaria doing ski training. It's not all fun. There is some lessons on avalanche detection and such like, but we get 2 weeks worth of tuition for the skiing, and I've also had the opportunity to represent the RN in snowboarding event in Teens, which is in France. That's an annual event that they run through the Navy. If you do well at that, then you go through to the Tri-Services Snow Sports Championships as well. So to be paid to essentially go out on the slopes is another bonus of the reserve life.
The other thing that I wanted to talk about was the social life, because I think that's something that a lot of people have really raved about, is that there's this real sense of community.
Life in the R&R is almost like an extension of your family to some extent. A lot of people rally around you when you're a little bit down, or they come around and sort of like pick you up and invite you to all different events. So it's not just your traditional events like your remembrance parades or ceremonial things. You've got Trafalgar Night, which is sort of celebrating the Battle of Trafalgar. That's always a good annual event. Burns Night and Pickles Night as well, which is all your sort of traditional things. But there's also sort of not so traditional things where you might hold an event for like 6 nations where you all get together in your mess, put it on the big screen, and you sort of get together, finger food, buffet, few drinks, and we're all there for the same reasons. We all have the same interests, so you can certainly like bounce off these people. You're not there because you have to be there, but it's certainly like you put in what you get out of it what you put into it. So
absolutely. All right, well, thank you so much, Matt. Pleasure talking to you.
No problem. Thank you ever so much.
Wow, there you go. So many achievements. So now let's take a closer look at what it's like to be a reserve.
So I joined the Royal Naval Reserve for a few different reasons. You get a sense that you're contributing to something bigger, and I really believe in the role of the armed forces on the national stage, particularly at the moment.
So I started the recruitment process just before lockdown, and I was successfully recruited to the Royal Naval Reserves. And I've been able to engage in the virtual drill nights, do some of the foundations of initial Royal Naval training.
During initial naval training, you get information on the different branches in the R&R, and the branch that we were interested in was the seamanship branch. So we are both looking forward to becoming qualified seamanship specialists and hopefully going on board the offshore patrol vessels in the future.
Having spent some time within the service, I was able to gain much more confidence, have much more self-esteem. I've learned a lot of practical skills as well, things like leadership, bit of management, which has been able to help me to be promoted as a nurse.
As part of the R&R, they do instill these military values. You've got integrity and discipline, and these are all things that you can use. Doing homework, make sure that's in on time, coursework. It sounds like silly things, but it does translate, definitely.
I got to travel out to the Mediterranean on a warship doing maritime security operations, and I made friends there who I will be in contact with for life.
So much fun, and I just love how everybody is in the same boat, regardless of ethnicity, age, background, gender, and they're definitely not doing the everyday. All right, so we decided that it might be a little bit mean to not show you the other video that didn't get top vote, so without further ado, roll of VT number 2. Okay, so that is all we have got time for today, but I hope this has given you a little bit of a taster of what it's like to be in the R&R. If you want to take the next step, you can do so by pressing the Find Out More button on your screen, and that will take you to the website. And now's your chance to really drill down and chat to the team. They are prepped, ready, and waiting for you. Maybe you want to ask them about their personal experience or what it was like for training for them. Anything you want, they are there, ready, and waiting. A big thank you to the reserves for being involved in the show today. You've all been absolute stars, and thank you to you guys for watching. Best of luck, everybody. See you later.